Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, I'm going to be giving you the outlook ahead for Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and crypto. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. My next live stream will be Monday afternoon now. Won't be starting quite at 4 o'clock. Got a busy afternoon ahead, so maybe a little delayed. But we got a lot to talk about because there's so many things going on. On Sunday, we had the Trump DOJ going after the Fed. We've got Jerome Powell reacting. The markets, of course, were reacting overnight in pre-market. So I'm going to get into all that now. Let's get into it. Let me show you the charts on the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. And we start here with the current Dogecoin chart, 1365. That's right, 13 cents again. We're back in the brown box. Had a little bit of a run last night going until the news came out about the Fed, Trump, all of that. We'll get into that in a sec. And the crypto market just couldn't hold. Bitcoin, last night on crypto Twitter, everybody's like, oh, 92,000, hey, let's go Bitcoin, and then dump. It comes all the way down to 90,200, now about 90,600, stabilizing a little bit before the stock market opens. I'm recording this video before stock market. We're still at pre-market. But that's where Bitcoin stands right now. The big news, DOJ opens criminal probe into Fed's Powell, and then Powell raises the stakes, make or break fight for the Fed. So if you look at my profile on X, I am at Chris Pax here. I posted both last night, the U.S. federal prosecutors opening a criminal investigation into the Fed and Fed Chair Powell, his reaction, posted all of that. So follow me, catch all the latest stuff. When I'm not here on YouTube, I'm over there on X. So make sure you follow me there. So this is a lot of this is about the Fed building, Federal Reserve, the big $2.5 billion renovation project. And I'm just like, well, I'm an architect, right? I know how much I've worked on big projects. God, $2.5 billion. That's a lot. That's a lot. Even for an old building like this and all the renovations required, it's just like, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So, but this was it, like so much for Bitcoin surging past 92,000 as it immediately started dumping. So, but we do have the week ahead. Tuesday, CPI inflation. Wednesday, PPI inflation. Of course, Wednesday, we also have the next date where we think the U.S. Supreme Court ruling on Trump-era tariffs is going to be coming. Initial jobless claims on Thursday. We've got the Q4 earnings season, going. We've got a bunch of Fed speakers, and maybe Powell's going to say, he was already scheduled to say something on Monday. So we'll be watching for that as well. So there is a lot going on. Again, we look pre-market though, and pre-market the futures are down. S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, Russell, all in the red. The VIX is spiking up 10%. That's volatility index that's going up. That's usually not a good thing. We have gold and silver hitting new all-time highs, and I also posted that this morning. Gold and silver, new all-time highs. It's like, not looking good as we start the week here. Crypto Chatter says, hey, big week this week. Expect volatility. We also have like the Senate vote on the Clarity Act is supposed to come this week. Now, my opinion already on that. We can talk about it some more, but it's like, it's everyone getting their fingers into the crypto business. And it's like, is this really good for crypto? I don't know. There's some positives of it, I guess. Trying to get rid of some of the scams and all of it, but is this really going to stop that? Because of all the DeFi, they can't touch that, and it's only how the United States oversees it for U.S. citizens. Crypto's worldwide, so I don't know about that. But Trump has certainly not been good for crypto, and now this for 2026. We got the whole Venezuela thing going on, right? Now we've got Cuba, Colombia, we don't know. The credit card companies, trying to push those, the interest rates down to 10% max. It's not good for the credit card companies, right? Visa, MasterCard, already down pre-market trading today. Institutions being home buyers, threatening that. capturing Russian ships, threatening Mexico, annexation for Greenland, right? What's going on in Iran? This whole investigation launching into Powell and the Fed, 100% tariffs on BRICS nations, 25% tariffs on Canada, threatening. It's like all of that stuff. And it's just like, this is not good for the markets. The outlook based on this, all of this going on. And this is just, what are we, 12 days into January already? And this is everything that Trump is doing. I mean, the markets don't like this kind of thing, especially crypto. And crypto, because of all this stuff, will continue to get manipulated up and down. BTC stuck in a range. Still some factors are clear. Like 87,000 support. Again, we have an open CME gap down at 88.2. We'll be watching that. 94.5 resistance. So why does he think this is going up? The chart doesn't show that. It just doesn't show that big breakout coming above, in my opinion. So, yeah, Chris is a bit of a bear. Yep, and there's still that CME gap yet to be filled. Down here, 88,200 at the bottom. We've been watching that. So, and many believe that gap will eventually get filled. I used to not be a fan of those, but, you know, after 6 months of watching these things get repeatedly filled and filled and filled, that's certainly on the table. Ted Pillow says long-term holders have started selling Bitcoin again, not a good sign. So there's been a lot of profit taking going on with Bitcoin. So we're fighting against that. And then even the ETFs, right? Investment products recorded $454 million in net outflows last week. And look at this, right? You see all of the inflows from mid 2025 till, you know, the big spike in September and into October. And then what happened? Well, October 10th happened, right? And then there seemed to be a little bit of recovery like the week after October 10th, but then everyone decided it was just bearish and it's been mostly outflows. So, I mean, that's the sign of a bear market. I'm sorry. The Bitcoin bull was underwhelming. Maybe the bear will be too, though. So Merlin's saying, look, doesn't look like a 12-month death march, like for the full year. He thinks it's more of a liquidity event. Deep wicks are possible, fear spikes, but weak hands folding. And he thinks that we're not going to have this big 60% dump. He thinks more it's going to be lower and shorter. I still think it's going to drag out a bit before things can positively turn around. Of course, Dogecoin can always be the savior of that. Maybe not like Trader Allen thinks, though. He's got this big bullish pennant going back to 2021 on the monthly scale. 73-cent high, 48-cent high, right? You draw that line, and then you take the bottoms here, and you draw that, and it's like, well, I don't know if that's a bullish pennant or not. It's just trading sideways. Again, not as volatile, so we could still see lower highs and higher lows as the whole trading becomes less volatile as well. Kind of like what Merlin's saying here, is that we're not going to have as deep of a wick. We're not going to have as big as a comeback, and things are going to start flattening out. That could be what's happening. We do have news, though, that this week, the next Doge ETF, spot ETF from 21 shares, it's set to go live this week. So we're going to have another ETF for Dogecoin. Now, so far, the Doge ETFs that we already have haven't really done that much. But there's been no outflows, right? There's been it's all inflows. It's not a lot, but it's all inflows still, no outflows. So that's good. We'll wait for the third one, which will be T-Dog. T-Dog will be the 21 shares. So they'll add this to the list. Again, this just tracks the spot Dogecoin ETFs, not the 2X one that 21 shares already has, or that Rex Osprey one, Doge, D-O-J-E, because it wasn't a true spot ETF that we talked about before. So, but we're watching these and look, inflows and zeros. So no red outflows yet for the Doge spot ETFs. And then, of course, always with Dogecoin, it's like, John says, like, my brain caught my body dancing today When the body noticed it was being watched by the brain, it stopped dancing, but then it started again. Do only good every day. Let your brain catch your body dancing to music too, because that's what we do with Dogecoin. That's why I love it. We try and have a little fun. I know it's your portfolios, and so far, right, they're not where you want them to be. I get it. But there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, all of this stuff with Trump going, Trump has not been good for crypto. Absolutely not. It's almost a year now since his inauguration, and it has been nothing but, over the summer, we're starting to get some recovery, right? We had positive movement in the prices in July, and then in September, and then October, we had the big flash crash and everything changed. And this guy's not helping. Not helping crypto. Again, he likes to keep the stock market up, but even with all of this going on, is that really going to help the stocks? We'll be watching that. Make sure that you join in on the live streams. We'll expand our talks out on what's going on, especially on Monday. It's going to be an up and down day, I think, trading on Monday, but we will catch up with that on the live stream. Give the video a like. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this trading now with Doge? It's kind of disappointing when you start to get a big run up and then it just retraces straight back down, back in the brown box. Not great. Anyway, also, subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.